Hi everyone, welcome to the channel. If you're new, my name is Debbie. This is my crafty den, and I thought I would share a little project with you today. So I have this book, and it's just a bullet journal. But in this bullet journal, I kind of keep track of things that I'm doing for groups that I belong to online, in Facebook, whatever, wherever the groups are. And I need some backgrounds. I'm going to make some masterboards that I can cut up for themes for upcoming projects. So this is a piece of watercolor paper. It is from this watercolor pad that you get at Dollarama for $3.25. And there are 20 sheets in here. And it is 300 GSM. It is a really good quality paper for using for background. And it's just cheap watercolor paper. So I don't recommend this for anybody that's doing watercolor for art sake. I would get a 100% cotton pressed watercolor paper if I was doing that. But this is okay for backgrounds. Now I need one background that is red, black, and gold. And I need another background that is red, pink, and white for two different projects. But I have a ton of paint here. So I'm going to start with the red, gold, and black one. And I'm just going to show you how easy it is to make a background. So I've got this spatula also that I'm going to use. This is just from a set of spatulas that I got. They're silicone spatulas. I picked these up at Dollarama as well. If you don't have this, this works just as well. An old gift card or something that you've already used up. So I'm just going to start, because I want red, black, and gold on this one. I'm just going to start by putting some blobs of paint down on my paper. I'm just going to grab this cover that's done, and I'm just going to put it underneath the edges as I'm working. So I'm just going to take and spread onto the watercolor paper this red paint. So I love how you get these lines and nothing looks good. I mean, I kind of love that, in fact, that it doesn't look like anything that you want. So I want a couple of ATCs out of this, maybe 3 of them. I want to do a tag, and I'm going to do a memory decks card, probably, out of this red. So spreading it like this, I just find it's much better than a paintbrush. A paintbrush makes it too even, in my opinion. There. So I've got it all covered in the red, and then that will dry. Okay, so I just went over this with my heat tool a little bit to get it dry. And now I want to do a little bit of stenciling on here. So to get the red with the black and the gold, I'm going to grab a stencil. I really like this stencil, and I think I got this at Dollarama, if I'm not mistaken. And it's a nice big stencil, and it's got this fabulous patterns on here, these triangle patterns, which are really cool. Kind of look like medallions or something. And then it has this beautiful written font print on here, but you can't tell what it says. I'm going to use this. So I am going to use, these are the cosmetic wedges that you get at Dollarama. There's 20 pieces in a pack. I forget how much they are, but they're not very expensive. I'm going to use a shallow plate. You can use a saucer or whatever you like on here. Then I'm going to grab black paint. This is the deco art, and the red was just this acrylic. I get them at Dollarama, the Great Canadian Dollar Store, places like that. And I'm going to squeeze a little wee bit of this black on here. I don't need very much. And I'm going to squeeze a little bit of water from my water bottle. And I'm really going to water this down. And I knew I'd need a little bit of water in that because this paint has gotten thick. I haven't used my paints for a while. I haven't painted anything for a while. My goodness. So I'm just going to wipe that off of there. So I'm sorry if my voice sounds a bit scratchy today and it's out of sorts, but I'm on about day 5 of a really horrible head cold. So I was kind of hoping that I would be able to do this today and get through the video. Yeah, I haven't done anything all week. That's why I haven't posted a video for about a week. So you can see I've just dabbed my little sponge, the flat part of my sponge, into this. And I'm going to make sure that it goes over the edge, right to the edge of my paper. And I'm going to make sure that the stencil part of it goes over the edge because I don't want to come just to the edge and then stop. And this is just such an easy way to get some stenciling onto your paper. Of course, you could use a permanent ink and stamp as well if you don't have stencils. There's all kinds of stamps that we can use to add these layers. Now, see, it's moved and I've bleared it and I've got a little bit over the edge here, but I don't care. That doesn't matter. I'm just going to move this up here like this and plop it back down again and do some more. The prompt for this background was just red, gold, and black. So that's exactly what I'm doing. And I'm layering this stencil. In some places I'm going over top where I've already stenciled so that it looks like this is moved all over the place. I've got some bleed through there. It doesn't really matter. I'm just going with red and black right now. There. Just a little bit squeezing through, making a mess. And already that would be good enough for a background, I think, anyway. So I'm going to set this over so that it can dry a little bit while I clean my stamp up or my stencil up. Kind of got my tabletop cleared up, and this is dry enough. I mean, there wasn't that much paint on there. I'm taking, I've got 2 choices for my gold. I have this metallic glorious gold, or I just have the spun gold. And I think because it's at the beginning of the year, And we're just past the holiday season by a few weeks. I think I'm going to go with the metallic acrylic. These are smaller bottles. So these are 2 fluid ounces and these are 4 fluid ounces. But you still get these at the dollar stores. I've never used this stencil yet. And it is just for card making, mixed media. Somebody sent this to me, which was a wonderful gift. I did a swap with somebody and they put this in as an extra. And yes, I can't remember who it was. If you see this video, you'll probably know. Let me know in the comments if it was you. And I am going to put this on here, but I'm not going to put it all on here. I'm going to put this gold paint just at the side of my plate. Just a little. I'm not going to put a lot there. And I am going to put there. I think that's what's wrong. I'm putting, let's see what that looks like. Oh, that is so pretty. So pretty. Very, very subtle. And this is the same sponge. I just took a pair of scissors and cut off the black part. You got to remember, this channel is all about crafting on a budget because I'm retired. I have no money for this. So everything that I do is very frugal. So the gold doesn't have to be everywhere. It's more like a highlight on here. Now this is bleeding underneath these stencils quite a bit, but if you put a little bit of adhesive spray on the back of this and stuck it down, it would probably stencil a lot cleaner. There. So I have a little bit of this gold stenciling on here. And I am just going to take my sponge and where I don't have any, I'm just going to put like little bits of gold because it's not going to go down really thick. So it'll be translucent and just on the top of the red and black, which is kind of nice. There. And I think that's really good. And because this is just a background. Just a background. It doesn't have to be perfect. So remember that on top of this, I am going to be layering different things. I'm going to be adding a focal point on top of this. This sheet is going to be cut down to the sizes of the pieces that I want. I'll do that at the end of this video. Okay, for my second Masterboard background, I'm just going to call them backgrounds. And for my second one, the colors were supposed to be red, white, and pink. And I have some bright red. I have some Tutti Frutti pink. I have this cherry blossom pink. And I have this white. Okay, so the same type of thing is going to happen on here. I think I want more pink than red. So I am going to put just a little red around on my sheet. Here, let's take that off of there and slap it on there instead of there. And then I'm going to use the two pinks. And I'm going to, this is the lighter pink, and I'm going to use it too. This is called Cherry Blossom Pink. Okay, and I'm going to spread this. So, give myself some room here. I have a piece of white tissue paper. I just need one piece of it. I don't need the whole package. And I'm going to fold this in half. And I'm going to put it underneath here. I should have done this first, I guess. So now I'm going to take my spatula and I'm going to get right over here. There, that was a lot of paint, but I'm going to add some more because I want some more red in here. There. Now, I want to do something with this. I'm going to take all the excess off and put it on the tissue paper. Because I want to do something with the tissue paper after too. So let's spread some of this on here. Whoops. Whoops, I just put my thumb right in it. There, so I don't waste any paint, and I'm going to let this dry as well. And so I have my pink, and it's supposed to be pink and white and red, and so I just have it all together, like it's layered in there. The prompt for these backgrounds was that you had to use the specific colors, in this case pink, red, and white, and you had to use, you could use other colors, but you had to have those in there. And you also had to use 2 stencils, and you had to use, I think that was it. You had to use 2 stencils. And I think most people were using paste with theirs. And I have a little bit of modeling paste right here. This is the Grumbacher modeling paste. I've had this forever, absolutely forever. So let me see. stencils. I just keep all my stencils on like this. Oh, that's cute. A little circle of hearts right there. And I've got just some straight lines. I've got some dots. So let me grab a couple of these. These stencils mostly are supposed to be used for planning. They're planning stencils. But there are some really cool, like, different things, like those checklists are all just rows of circles. And I don't have a whole ton of stencils. I like that right there. This is from a bee set that I got. So I'm going to use this because it's got this beautiful plant on it. And I think that'll do. That'll do me for a bit. So all I did to put them on a ring was I just took a punch, and I punched, they were easy to punch too. So I just took a punch and punched a hole in the corner of anything that didn't already have a hole in the corner so that I could hang it up. I'm going to take this one here to start. And because I like this floral bit right here, I'm going to use part of this. So I'm going to set that one aside. I'm just going to grab just these little dots right here. That just adds so much really cool texture to it. Let's turn this around. I'm going all around here. My modeling paste is getting really thick. It's got to be about 5 years old by now because I only use it once in a while. So I joined these groups just hoping that I can start getting out some of my old supplies that I haven't used in a long time and start using up some of my stuff. I honestly haven't had a whole lot of inspiration lately, so I've been kind of just wondering what the heck to do. Look at that little ring of hearts. Is that not so cute? I think I want another one right beside it. And there's no, I like using the spatula. There's no right and wrong way to do this. You put your stencil down You put your modeling paste over the top, you spread it out, you take off a bunch of the excess so that it's not horribly thick. Then you put your hand down on the other stencil that you haven't cleaned off yet and end up with it on the back of your hand. Oh gosh. There. So I have texture on mine, and I've used 3 stencils. And I've got my white on here as well. So this is going to take some time to dry. I'm going to go to the sink and clean these stencils off and my spatula because I do not want this everywhere. Okay, so I gave these a bit of a dry with my heat tool, and I'm going to show you how I cut them up. So I want to do things like ATC cards, memory decks cards, tags, and bookmarks. These are the things that I do normally. So this is the standard size for an artist trading card, 2.5 by 3.5 inches. So I'm going to start with those. And because I typically do them in sets of 3, 6, or 9, I'm going to see the best way to do this. So if I do 3.5, let me do it this way so I can see my numbers better. If I do 3.5 inches this way, I get 2. But I only get 2, and then I have to cut a chunk out. But if I do 3.5 inches this way, I get 3 this way. So I might even get an extra one. So I'm not even going to look at this. I'm going to turn it over this way. Let's move this one over here. And I am going to cut 3.5 inches off of this card this way. There. Then I'm going to do 2.5 inches. So 2.5. And 2.5. And 2.5. So I'm going to cut it the same way I was, because I know this is the flat edge. So I always try to put the flat edge of my paper on the straight edge at the top if I can. It kind of ensures a straight cut. So I've got 3 ATC cards. Now, without looking at this again, I am going to do, I want a memory decks card out of this. And that's 4 inches. That gives me 1, 2, 2.5 inches. All right, so I need 4 inches that way, but I only need 3.5 inches this way. So I'm going to measure it out because I don't want to waste any. I want to be able to get as much as I can out of this. So 3.5 and 3.5 is 7. So I could do 2 memory decks cards and I could do a tag, I think. So let's do 4 inches right here. And then do 3 3/4. Now it can be smaller than 3 3/4, but 3 3/4 is as high as you want it to be. So 3 3/4. I took a peek. They're going to be so pretty. And 3 3/4 of an inch again. So this is the size of your memory decks card. 3 3/4 by 4 inches. And do I have enough for a large tag? I love making tags out of these. What have I got here? I've got 2.5 inches. I'm just wondering if I do 2.5 by 6 inches. I'm going to take that little wee bit off the bottom. I mean, if I have to trim a little bit, I may as well trim the part that I don't want, right? And then 2.5 by 6.5 inches. That looks like a good tag. So I'm going to do a tag. I'll have 2 memory decks cards, a tag, and let's see what my 3 ATC backgrounds are going to look like. And that one and that one. So you imagine you've got a So imagine you've got a nice big embellishment that you want to put on your ATC card. So maybe this one, and I might want to put this on top of it or something like this for the Chinese New Year. This kind of looks oriental to me, and this is very oriental, and with the red and the gold, it's perfect. Or you could even put it so that it was at the bottom and this was hanging down the bottom if you wanted to. So you're going to cover up, when you put your focal point on, you're going to cover up quite a bit of this. And yeah, I think they're just going to be lovely, just lovely. I like this one in particular because it's got this bit of a sheen down there, so that's nice like that. So it would go on any of these. So I've got my backgrounds for my red, black, and gold. And I am going to cut this up the same way. So I have very little waste. I have a little scrap like that sliver, and this little piece. And if I wanted to, I could even keep this because this is an inch and a half, an inch and a quarter, over an inch and a quarter. But this is big enough to cut up into 2 inches. If I even wanted to do inchies or twinchies. If anybody's done inchies or twinchies, leave me a comment. Let me know what you think of them because I have so much fun making inchies. And they are just little tiny wee decorative pieces, little pieces of art that are only 1 inch by 1 inch or 2 inches by 2 inches. So, yeah, they are fun to make. So I think I'll keep, I don't even know if this is an inch. Oh, it is exactly 1 inch. So I'm going to keep that little piece too. It's always nice to have extra bits for inchies and twinchies. I'll put that in my box. So I have a tag to decorate. I have 2 memory decks cards to make. And I have 3 of these backgrounds for ATCs. So for 1 piece of that watercolor paper that you can buy at the dollar store, you can get 6 different pieces of paper crafting art out of them. And these are close to being done. So, I mean, they're so easy now. You can just put, well, stickers wouldn't go on here very well because I've put texture on, but you can put a sticker on a piece of paper, a piece of cardstock, fussy cut it, and then mount it on top for more dimension if you want to do that. Or you could put like a dimensional butterfly on here. There's all kinds of things that you can do. I'm just going to have a lot of fun with mine. So Let me know if you're going to make some backgrounds. You could do these in any color themes. These are just the color combinations that my group is using for the next 2 swaps. And I just thought I'd share how I was going to do my background before I start creating my little pieces. So if you enjoyed it, don't forget to give the video a thumbs up and subscribe if you haven't done that already. And I'll see everybody in the next video. Until then, bye-bye for now, everyone. Have a great day.